everyone, it's Jack Cotton, luxury real estate expert, author, and agent. I'm here inside my beautiful, luxurious, but not overly ostentatious Cape Cod office, talking about success, talking about cramming and the fact that you can't cram in luxury real estate, and how we can achieve success by setting our goals, having a plan to achieve our goals, and working that plan a little bit every single month, week, day, and hour. The most effective thing you can do in luxury real estate to become more successful, which is the whole theme of our series here, becoming more successful, be able to spend our time any way we please during the course of the day, is to work our sphere of influence. So let's talk about some rules of working our sphere of influence. First of all, remember that people in your sphere are not sitting around waiting for you to call. I mean, can you imagine people waking up in the morning and thinking, I wonder if Jack is going to call today, I have a referral for him. Doesn't happen. They're not sitting around waiting for your call. So we have to remember to ask everyone, ask anyone who you do business with to reciprocate and give you business in return. So numbers to think about is that if you know 250 people and each one of those people knows 250 people, you can directly and indirectly influence 62,500 people. You don't need 10,000 people in your sphere. You don't need 5,000 or even 1,000 people in your sphere. Look at what you can do with just 250 people in your sphere of influence. You can directly and indirectly influence 62,500 people. That will support a really great career in luxury real estate. How often should you contact people? Call 4 times a year. It's not that much, 4 times a year. Send them a note or a postcard or something in the mail 4 times a year, something of value. And don't hesitate to call the ones you haven't talked to in a while. You know what happens, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, gosh, I haven't called them in a long time. Now I'm afraid to call them because I haven't called them in such a long time. And I keep thinking about I haven't called them in such a long time. They're going to be annoyed if I call them because I haven't called them in such a long time. So I'm afraid to call them. But you know what? Just bite the bullet. Take 1 minute of courage every single day and call a person you haven't talked to in a long time and reconnect with them. They will give you business if you ask. They will forgive you. In fact, probably they haven't been thinking about you at all during the time you haven't been calling them. You've been thinking about not calling them and the fact that you haven't called them and it's racking you, making you crazy in your brain. They're not even giving it a second thought. Believe me, they're not thinking about you. They'll be happy to hear from you. Some more rules to think about is that you have to specifically ask for referrals. Yeah, be specific when you ask. Who do you know who's thinking of buying or selling real estate here on Cape Cod? And then determine who on your list of 250 people provides the highest number of referrals to you. And you can categorize them as A's, B's, or C's. Come up with your own definition, but an A might be someone who could send you 2, 3, or 4 transactions in the course of a year. A C, on the other hand, might be someone who would send you 1 every 2 years. But categorize your 250 people so you can spend more time on the A's, obviously, but contact them all in one way, shape, or form monthly. Some more rules. Contact them monthly and ask clients for referral when they're present clients instead of waiting until the transaction is closed. I mean, the best part of any relationship is the very beginning, isn't it? That's like the honeymoon period. So instead of waiting for a listing to close, what if you ask for a referral when you're signing the listing contract? Instead of waiting for a buyer to close, what if you ask them for a referral when they're signing the buyer agreement or even the agency disclosure form? Don't wait until the end. Take advantage of the honeymoon period and ask them up front. If you're not going to call people at least 4 times a year, remove them from your list. Someone else is going to call them, so just forget it. If you're not going to do it, remove them from your list, replace them with someone who you will call at least 4 times a year. Always bring value to the people on the call. Plan your calls effectively. What can I bring that's valuable to my people? Well, typically, that is market information, a new listing in their area, a new sale in their area, a new expired in their area, rates are up, rates are down, whatever, a plant closed, a plant opened, if you're in, what state is it now, where Mercedes is moving to? I forgot. You're moving from New Jersey, I think, to Georgia. Well, that's great value you can bring to people when you call in your sphere of influence. But again, newsletters, market data, reports, the reports we've talked about writing are great items of value you can bring to people in your sphere. And of course, new listings and solds are hugely valuable to people in your sphere of influence. If you can't reach someone, you call them on the phone, you can always leave a message, you can always send a quick postcard, you can always drop a quick line, you can always clip an article from the paper and send it to them. But when you close the transaction, create a schedule for calling them to create the bridge for future business. I mean, you should be contacting people years after a transaction closes, Make it a schedule. Put it in your CRM, your customer relationship management software. So, you can begin by calling them the day of the closing, 7 days later, 14 days later, and then monthly after that. Bring value to them each and every time. At least once a year, offer to give them an up-to-date CMA on their property. Okay, a lot we talked about with sphere of influence. We can talk about more of that and answer your questions on the first Tuesday of every single month with luxuryrealestateunplugged.com. Just go and log into that website, check it out, and see what you think, and sign up. Until next time, make it a great week.